Okay, today has been another interesting day. News moves fast. Let's just start out by saying that for folks who are beginning to filter in this broadcast. Just yesterday, we had a trifecta of events. We were talking about Nancy Pelosi in Taiwan. We were talking about the MAGA candidates that just performed quite well in the primaries leading up to the midterms. We had three subjects. Already, 24 hours later, we got two more very, I don't know how to even phrase it, but Brittany Griner, the WNBA star. Now, she pled guilty. I see in the audience there, Heir to the Kingdom. I love the name, Heir to the Kingdom. You're saying that she's guilty. Why should she get special treatment? You know, that's a really good question. Why should Brittany Griner get special treatment? Because that's exactly what the Russian government is giving her. Special treatment. She's getting the max. For what? Generally, when a judge gives you the max, you've done something heinous. You have a history of committing an offense. A first offense getting the max. Well, I guess that did generally happen to black people in America. But let's pretend we're in a post-racial America. This is her first offense, and they gave her the max. So when you ask, why should she get special treatment? My response is, exactly. Why is she getting special treatment? Why is she getting the max on her first go-round? Okay, also, Breonna Taylor and Big J, I see you're saying in the audience, good. Why are you so happy that she got the maximum sentence? I don't get that. And Heir to the Kingdom, you're talking about she has a criminal history in America. What happens in America is totally unrelated to what's going on in Russia. Isn't that what we're suggesting as to her 9 years prison sentence? If you want to bring up America, why can't you bring up that shit is legal here in America and that she would have a 0% chance of ever getting 9 years? Don't bring up America when it's convenient. Nothing about what's happening to Brittany Griner is American at all. So bringing up America, I don't understand where that even comes from. That's American justice, not Russian treatment. Fine, that's fine, but giving her the max, that's not necessarily American treatment, or American or Russian. I'm trying to figure out, even in Russia, they clearly have sentencing guidelines because they made it clear she got the max. Based on what? Even in Russia, if you commit a crime and you're sentenced under Russian laws, they don't have to give you the max. They could give you some type of disparity in sentencing. Why did she get the max? She hasn't done anything prior in Russia. So yeah, when you guys ask the question, why does she deserve special treatment? I throw it back and ask the same question. Why is she being sentenced to the max? Why is she being treated special? Name. I always love these unique names. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. I always love talking to my MAGA folks. Tired of this shit. Good evening, sir.
How are you, sir?
I'm tired of this shit. I'm glad to be talking to you.
So
9 years.
So look,
9 years.
I put a video out about this today, and I got a lot of hate for it. But I don't want to be a hypocrite on this. You know what?
Okay.
I don't care for what she stands for. I know what she said and what she did. Kneeled for the anthem, all that stuff. I know it all.
Okay.
But 9 years for a vape pen?
And
you know what I mean?
And actually, she's been incarcerated since February. So she's already been incarcerated for 7 months. So essentially, she's getting pretty close to 10 years.
Right, exactly. So 9.5. Yes, exactly. I took a lot of heat for it, but out of everything that's gone on, I don't really wish any ill will on anybody. I just wish people would shut up. Stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine, and we'll do our thing. But I think one of the reasons she got 9 years is I think they're going to use it to get something they really want from Biden, because I believe Biden has pressure on him to get her out of there as fast as possible.
100% agree. I believe that the Russians know that she has become somewhat of a celebrity here in America, and they realize they have a bargaining chip. And yeah,
Yes,
they're not
sir.
going to just trade her for an equivalent. They're going to want more than that. So
Right,
that's not working to, yeah, that's unfortunately not working to her best interest being a celebrity.
right. But yeah, a
So
lot of people got
what do
mad.
you think? Do you think Biden, because they're wanting a known terrorist, an arms dealer. That's who they're asking to be released. They're taking it to sky high level. What do you think Biden should do? Do you think it's like a lot of my MAGA folks suggesting that she didn't, she wasn't patriotic, she didn't appear to like the United States, just leave her there to rot? Or do you think Biden should actually stand up and do something on her behalf?
I feel that I don't, like I said, I understand, man. I get mad. I've seen it. I watch it. But I wouldn't want that to happen to somebody in my family, my friends, my neighbors, you. I wouldn't want that to happen to somebody, no matter how big our disagreements are, how much we didn't like each other. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want it to happen to somebody. So I feel, but I also feel, Biden's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You do all that for them to get her released, but you've got people in prison right now and all over America for possession of marijuana. Are you going to release all them? Are
That's I really like the way you put that. In America, I do strong, even though I've never even tried marijuana. I definitely believe that anyone that has a marijuana rap sheet, maybe you could get them for if a person has a large amount in distribution, that's one thing. But anybody that has marijuana charges, personal use, I don't care how far it is back in history, yeah, I think it should be completely removed from their record. The shit is
yeah,
harmless at very low levels.
yes. And, nothing for nothing. I'm trying to be level headed, looking at both sides because there's a lot of things that I don't like that's going on right now. You know what I mean? Everything that we complain. I'm sorry, my wife's dog. Everything that
Oh,
we
I
complained
thought you were about to
about.
sit there with your wife.
No, no. Everything that we were all upset and aggravated us about the liberals and the Democrats while Trump was in office, we're doing the same thing. We're kind of doing the same thing right now. You know what I mean? And we're weakening our case, I feel, on a lot of stuff that's being said and going on. I just believe there could be a different way of handling it. You know what I mean? I feel if maybe if we calmed down and leveled out a little bit and talked with some respect,
Well,
I'm not going to
let
say
me
people would listen, but
Yeah, I agree. But let me present this. This is coming from in the comments, and I always make it clear nothing on this broadcast gets banned. My preferred audience is MAGA, so I'll let you guys speak. I don't ban. This is in regards to what we're talking about. What is that? Le Big Tuner 22 is suggesting that they should have gave her 10 years. He then follows up and says, I guess in reference to Brittany Griner, what she did is the typical black attitude. And he stated that they think they can just do whatever they want without consequences. How do you
no,
view
no.
that?
You know
That's
what?
coming from a viewer.
And I made this statement earlier. It's not just black athletes. It's any of these athletes, white, Puerto Rican, no matter which ones. When you get favored, when grown adults see a talent in a young child or a young person that just is learning about life and don't really know a whole lot, they look to exploit it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And from high school, they see that high school, oh, he's going to college. He's going to be pitching for, Oklahoma, oh, he's going to play professional ball. So they get away with a lot of stuff throughout their whole life, whether they're
Yeah.
black, white, or what.
So you don't submit to his theory that it's just black people
No, I
don't know
don't.
how to act and they're
I
just,
don't.
I mean,
I
okay,
don't.
fair
And,
enough.
I don't like to say it, but I believe that was a racist statement. You know,
Okay.
I,
And I'm not going to disagree with you, but like I said, I,
yeah,
I don't I don't block or ban any of my viewers. I like for folks to speak their mind, and he basically stated, yeah, it's black on black crime, and then he went down the list of naming all types of things that make black people, I suppose, a louse on society. So, yeah, I don't disagree with that. All right, well, look, I got to move it on, man. Appreciate talking to you. It's definitely a
Yes, sir.
pleasure. I
Take
love the
care.
name, by the way. Absolutely. Tired of this shit. Love that name. Okay, looking at the comments. What about these terrorist white boys? Says Panama. You know, I hate that he took it in that direction. But like I said, I let people speak. I mean, the guy doesn't, some people don't have a high opinion of other groups. I mean, it sounds like that gentleman does not have a high opinion of African Americans. What can you do? All right, looking in the comments. Why don't white people use the thousands of rundown trailer parks as examples? Okay, now we're getting crazy. Breonna Taylor, by the way, also in the news. Obviously, we know what happened with Brittany Griner, but the late Breonna Taylor, she was killed by the police in Louisville, Kentucky a few years ago. They performed a warrant on her house, and apparently the boyfriend in the home grabbed his own firearm. There's a back and forth whether the police announced their arrival or not. He tried to defend his home. The police returned fire and they shot through the walls and killed Breonna Taylor. Well, 4 of those officers now have been charged by, I cannot think of the Department of Justice guy right now. I cannot think of his name for some reason. Somebody let me know in the comments. Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland is his name. The guy who may ultimately go after Trump too. So that name that name is going to probably be said a lot in the near future. But Merrick Garland in his Justice Department charged 4 of those officers, some are not even police officers anymore, with a host of civil rights violations and other things like that. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's not uncommon when we're having the abortion debate for folks to say it's not a ban, it's returning things to states' rights. And yours truly, your humble correspondent, I always speak out about how I am against states' rights because of the history of how states acted. Keep in mind what they're doing federally to these officers in Louisville. The state did nothing to them. And the states, particularly the southern states, have a history of this stuff. So if you leave it to the states, at least for people like me, and I hate to go in this direction, but historically in our country, there are certain states that have not judged things the same way. So when you say let's go to states' rights, that's one of the reasons why I'm not always a fan of that. Both of these women, this is coming from Hard Red. Brittany Griner is doing 10 years in prison almost. Breonna Taylor is deceased. Hard Red stated, both of these women got what they deserved. Okay? Going to the box. Laugh. Wow. .tv. See what's going on here. So you guys are pretty, callers. It's always a pleasure. Tap the screen, get your boy likes up to 50,000. Laugh TV, talk to me.
Well, specifically on the Brittany Griner thing, anybody with an understanding of politics wouldn't have done that in the first place. Let's just get that. And that was the first point.
What do you mean? Wouldn't have done what? Wouldn't have done what?
Politics. I don't know the particular. She was caught with a vape pen, right?
Yeah,
or something like
that. With a gram of, I believe.
That. Understanding politics. First of all, that is not America. And on top of that, like one of the points that you pointed out is she is sort of a celebrity. So I mean, that coupled with that, and then let's not pretend like, oh, we just have this great history with Russia. Weren't we about to go to war with them not too many years ago?
Ever since World War II, we've been adversaries with
exactly.
Russia. So let me ask you this: do you submit to what Dr. Hop 44 in the comments is saying? Throw away the key. 9 hard years in the gulag during winter time. Do you think that is a justifiable sentence?
Gulag. No. I agree with you there. Where they're gonna, like you said, they're gonna use her as a bargaining chip. So of course they're gonna be like, hey, look, if you don't do something, we're gonna keep her as long as we can. Once again, that is how politics work. Like that is how it all works. You know what I mean? So Yes, I mean they're going to use her for a bargaining chip. Once again, for people saying that Biden is stuck between a rock and a hard place and has to do something, I want to remind you that is not how politics work. Let's. I don't want to get on. I don't want to talk about this topic, but Colin Kaepernick. Did anybody come save him? He had to sue to get his money. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but he wasn't in jail for a trumped up charge.
right.
I mean, and by the way, Colin Kaepernick thanked the President Trump. Colin Kaepernick needs to be thanking Trump and MAGA because that man made a hell of a lot more money, gained a lot more celebrity than he would have if Trump had not have used him as target practice. He made a lot of money with Trump.
But that's speaking to my point. As far as politics go, he was stuck either on one side or the other. You know what I mean? There was nobody from one side that would try to talk to the other. You know what I mean? There was nobody that tried to help him. You get what I'm saying? When it comes to politics, you're on one side or the other. There is no middle.
Right.
That's what I mean. That's why I didn't want.
Yeah, but if you're speaking now on for what you believe is civil rights, is that really politics?
Yes. Whenever there's a camera around and you doing it on a national stage, best believe it's politics. I found out not too long ago the only reason why the NFL even plays the national anthem is because the what is it? I don't know if it's the Army or the government pays them to do that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, yes, anytime you do something like that on a national stage, that you are definitely playing politics. I already brought up my other thing past with Russia. And I also want to point out, as a black man, it has nothing to do with race. And it has everything to do with celebrity status and basically politics. And let's not forget the fact that if there's no... She did it, right? Is there any confusion? There's no debate on whether she did it or not.
Let me ask it to you this way. I mean, I hate to throw race into it or something like that. I got folks in the comments. Dr. Ha is saying he, as in the male pronoun, he has been getting away with shit since high school because he's tall and athletic. Let me ask it to you this way. Let's say it was Tom Brady, or what is the guy who takes a knee and thanks God with every touchdown, a white guy? Would the treatment be different if the person that was being held was viewed as a patriotic American?
Yes, I do believe it would have been different. And once again, that's politics, because then you get what I'm saying. You take that political, they would have taken a political stand with one side or the other and had somebody to say, hey, all right, well, some congressman somewhere that he knew, you get what I'm saying, would have took his side. However, when you do take a knee for the flag and take that stand, sort of I don't think it's disrespectful. I do not. Let me say that first of all. I don't think it's disrespectful. Because I also would like to point out that it was a Navy SEAL that gave Colin Kaepernick the idea to do that. So I don't feel. But once again, politically, you're putting yourself in that zone where everybody's like, that's a gray area. In politics, they don't play gray areas. Politics do not play gray areas. I mean, they do when it's in their favor. But you get what I'm saying. On this note, once again, a national setting, nobody's gonna. You get what I'm saying? Because then you risk being in the. I guess I don't want to say the crosshairs. You know what I mean? But birds of a feather.
I get what you're saying. Well, listen, right. I got an abbreviated show here, so I got to move it on. I'm kind of running through. Only got about an hour to get out here and chat. But hey, you're welcome back anytime. I think this is our first time talking.
It is. I got cut off.
Good conversation. Come on back to. Go ahead.
Well, I got cut off somebody live earlier, so I don't join too many people's lives because people don't like difference of opinion.
Yeah, I got into a live today and I asked a question about 9/11 or something because somebody was saying when Trump said that 9/11 we hadn't got to the bottom of it, and I was like, well, what did he do? And that was enough for them to block me. So let me make it clear to you and anyone else watching, I actually prefer the adverse opinion, so you'll never be blocked here. The only folks who generally get blocked here is done by TikTok. So you're welcome back here anytime, man.
Thank you very much. You have a nice day.
Absolutely. All right, absolutely a pleasure. Real quick in the comments, somebody said something that I really want. I'm getting some really interesting comments coming in. Wow, they only care about white people. Wow. Absolutely not. You can't trade an actual criminal for the release of a terrorist. And yeah, you're hearing that because the folks that Russia want to be released are in our jails for something far, far more than a vape pen. Keep in mind, if a Russian came over here and committed the same offense that Brittany Griner did, they'd be home right now. I don't even think we'd even lock them up or hold them for that. So there's no way to trade an equivalent of Brittany Griner because we don't hand out 9-year sentences for something like that. So anyone we give, that's if you get a 9-year prison sentence in America, you've committed a fairly serious felony. I don't know anyone we could come up with that would be equal to her because the punishment is so damn hard. It was a comment I really wanted to respond to, but unfortunately, I lost it. You guys are saying some pretty strong things about Brittany Griner, though. I can tell you this from the comments I'm reading, there is zero, I repeat, zero sympathy for this woman. I suppose because she took a knee. She said some things about America. And some folks are in the audience suggesting that, your country, if America's not free and things like that. I don't know. I just think that you should view her as an American citizen, and that alone should make you want her to come back. Somebody has even said she should lose her citizenship.
Hello.
Good evening. Howdy, how are you?
I'm good.
What do you think? You've been listening to the program, ma'am?
Yes, I have. And I have a few thoughts to share that I think may be relevant to looking at the scope of this.
Sure.
Brittany.
What you got?
Brittany went to Russia to work. She went there to work because the WNBA does not make the same pay as the NBA.
Right.
So in the off season, they have to find a way to financially support themselves and continue their practice and their career.
Right.
So I think that's one of the first disparities we have is she wasn't there by just wanted will of, I want to go to Russia and have a vacation. She's there because she has to be there. These people have to work.
Okay, what about the notion that someone in the comments, Rich, and I don't know if this is true or not, but he's suggesting that she makes $230,000 a year.
For some Americans, that may seem like a great pay in comparison to the NBA. That is not the same pay. They're not getting equal pay.
Yeah, but you don't expect a person that's like LeBron James that people will get on a plane and travel thousands of miles to play. Nobody's going to do that for Brittany Griner. You want her to make the same amount of money as NBA players that are filling the stands and things like that?
We're not giving them the same type of respect in their particular arena as we do the NBA.
Yeah, but you can't blame that on the NBA. You got to blame that on the fans.
I'm not blaming the NBA. I'm just saying in general, when we're looking at the idea of a woman wanting to play basketball and make a career and create a status for themselves, they're not given the same opportunity financially as the NBA provides for their people. I understand there's a difference in the popularity of the two, but if you're trying to create a status for yourself, you have to expect that it's going to be harder for her than it is for someone in the NBA.
Yeah, but let me make it clear. The only reason the WNBA exists is because they're being subsidized by the NBA. The WNBA does not even sell enough tickets to be profitable. It is the NBA that continues putting them on TV in effort to make them one day become profitable. So they're already doing quite a bit.
Right. They're doing quite a bit, but she still has to supplement her income one way or another. I'm not saying that, we should get after the NBA or anything. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. What I'm trying to say is if you're someone and for example, you're going to school spring and fall and you're getting paid to go ahead and get student loan money and to help you survive during that time window, in the summer, you got to figure out what summer jobs you're taking on.
But I can't. You're getting free travel, free food allowance. You're being paid $200,000 a year. You make it sound like she's homeless. No, she's not making NBA
I'm not saying
salary,
that
but
she's homeless, but she's
she's
not making those bigger
but
arenas.
but she is making bigger numbers to the vast majority of Americans. You want
The
her to
vast
be at
majority
the
of Americans are also not doctors who are in debt for trying to go to med school or dentists that are in debt for trying to be dentists. It's the
yeah.
same difference. Everybody's trying to make their
So
dollar amount quota. I'm not trying to say that, oh, well, she should have stayed there because that's enough money. I'm saying that there's still, if you're looking to make money in that off season, you've got to do it some way or another. And that was her way.
well, we all are looking to make money.
Right,
Everybody probably watching you and I talk right now believes they're underpaid. We all think
right,
that. So,
right,
and most of us are not making $230,000 a year, and we
right.
feel that way.
But that's just it. The same goes for doctors. They're making 170K, 200K. And if you think of the type of work they do and the type of situations they're in, they probably think they should be making more level of somebody that's of the athletic level making money as well. These people are saving lives and they're not making big money either. So it's
Okay.
really going to be dependent upon the individual. So for herself and for her own status and her own wanted need for income, that was her route for it, for one. The other part to it is when you go into these countries, I'm not sure exactly how much policy she's provided with and how much information she's provided with to be considering herself an ambassador of her country when she goes into those places. I know for the military, you say, hey, 18 is the legal limit in England to drink. Hey, guess what? You're in England, you're 18, you can drink. We're not going to punish you for it because we're going to let you do what the locals do. On the other hand, you go into another country and they say you wear a hat and you don't shake hands with your left hand, then you go about making sure that you follow the rules and you don't
Okay.
shake hands with the left hand. I think there's something to be said of how much dedication was provided to her training and understanding of her level of involvement in that country, not just for herself, but for Americans in general. If you look at the case of
Okay.
the guy that went to North Korea,
All right,
he went there and
okay,
took a
let me
flag.
get in here before you. Okay, I don't want you to get too far ahead of me, so I can remember what you're saying. The first thing I was saying, in regards to pay, I've seen the Me Too movement, I've seen the feminist movement, I've seen women get a lot of shit accomplished when women speak out and make things happen. If
Oh
and
yeah, the
most of
soccer
the
team
folks
did
make
the
no
same
mistake.
thing.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me
No, I'm
respond. Let me
agreeing with
respond in
you.
full. Okay, all right, fair enough. Make no mistake about it. The vast majority of the folks complaining that the WNBA does not get paid equally are women. So my suggestion is get a bunch of women to go to the games. Get a bunch of women to buy the merchant. Most of the women out there are pursuing folks like LeBron James. They like him more. So
I
go
don't
to
watch
the games
basketball at
and
all. I'm a
support
football girl
women.
for the record.
But you get my point, is that
I get
women
your
are
point.
complaining
Yes.
when they're the biggest issue here.
Right. Right. The other thing though that I want us to take a look at is if we remember the kid in North Korea or South Korea, I think it was North Korea,
Yes,
where he took the
North
flag.
Korea.
Right. And I know he was in that mindset of, oh, it's a historical thing. Take it, have it as a memento or whatever. But I don't think that for his going there to travel, he wasn't looking at the seriousness of it because in America, it's so easy
Right,
for us to say,
right,
oh, you did something bad, but guess
right.
what? We're going to slap you on the wrist. I don't think that Americans have been put into a situation where they're told you need to understand and know the culture of the places you're going to and not be rude because even
Yeah,
for
yeah.
traveling to yeah
Well,
anywhere
I
you're going
will
to
say
have certain
this.
things.
Yeah, I will tell you this: the WNBA or whatever league she was playing for. Like I used to live overseas. I used to live in Australia, and when we would travel, they have huge signs when you get to immigration telling you, don't expect Australian laws to apply in these other countries because Australian laws are fairly similar to ours. Where you got an entity like whatever sports league she's playing for, they should make sure they let their players know. Certainly, when you're going to countries with stiff penalties like Russia, don't do shit here. I don't care how much you
Right,
want to get high. You may never come home if you smoke a joint over here. So some of
right,
that, I guess, but at the same time,
Right.
She should have known. I mean, you are an
Exactly.
adult. You should have known.
I definitely
So,
agree. She should have known, and that's what I'm speaking towards is, was she aware and did she understand how serious it is to not obey the rules? That's one thing. I will say this, and I know you've got to move on to other people.
right.
I don't think
Go.
that our country has taken the proper steps with it being 9 year sentence just yet to bring her back home. I think that unfortunately her timing of being put under arrest and going through everything she's going through is very unfortunate, and it is very political right now. I will say I don't think that 9 years, I think there should be some type of fine way that America could pay her out and get her back home, or some way that they could go ahead and say, look, under the circumstances of what we're going through, we need to figure a way of taking and swapping
There is a
somebody.
way.
I do
Okay.
think
Well, I
there's a
do.
way.
Fair enough. I do have to move it on. I appreciate you coming in here, but yeah, there is a way they can pay to have her come home. They can pay in full with the Ukraine. If they hand the Ukraine to the Russians, debt will be paid. So that's what the Russians want. Stop helping the Ukrainians, and they'd be fine with that. All right. Appreciate you coming through. Okay. Okay, and like I said, in regards to the WNBA and their lopsided salaries, women can visit the games. I mean, women make some of the biggest fans for the NFL. Football makes a ton of money off of women. Most women don't even know the name of the WNBA team in their own town. So if you want them to get paid equally, buy some of the merchandise. Do whatever it takes. Okay, looking back in the box, I got to move it on because I do have an abbreviated program here tonight. Let's go to D1. D1 thing. And by the way, we are talking about the Breonna Taylor issue for those who are wondering why her name is up there. The cops that were involved in that, apparently, according to Merrick Garland's Justice Department, made up a lie to get the warrant that resulted in her losing her life. D1, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good. You're kind of low. I can barely hear you.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
There we go. Okay. What's on your mind tonight?
One thing that it seems that they have amnesia. Trump released 5,000 Taliban soldiers, and the current leader of Afghanistan, with no prisoner trade, and America got nothing. I'm going to make this kind of short. I've been looking in your comments. One person said Breonna Taylor deserved to get what she got.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was laying in her bed in her home. The police came with an illegal no-knock warrant and shot and killed her. But they put Ashley Simpson on, I'm sorry.
Ashley Babbitt, not the singer.
Yeah, Ashley Babbitt on a pedestal when she was clearly wrong.
Yeah.
And thank you for, thanks for letting me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Well, I appreciate you coming through. Yeah, I've had discussions about Ashley Babbitt, and yeah, Ashley Babbitt clearly was committing a crime. You can argue whether you think she was a justifiable shooting or not, but I say it all the time. If somebody's aiming a gun at you and they're yelling instructions at you, it doesn't matter if they're a cop or they're a bank robber. If someone is aiming a gun at you and yelling instructions and you refuse to comply with those instructions, the chances of you getting shot increase astronomically high. Ashley Babbitt had a gun aimed at her. She decided to ignore the instructions, and she is no longer with us. In regards to Breonna Taylor and the suggestion that she got what she deserved, which came in the comments, I just want to say this once again. Even though my primary audience I prefer talking to is MAGA for the back and forth, the opposing opinions, that type of shit right there is what makes some folks start yelling out the racist word. I mean, what the hell did she do to deserve to be killed? I mean, she woke up and got shot. That's it. Other than, I guess, being born black, I don't know. What did she do to deserve being killed? So when you hear folks suggesting that there's racism, I don't know what would make that comment even be justified remotely. Go ahead, D1. I don't know where to go with that.
I see it every day. What kind of heartless person would have the nerve to say a woman sleeping in her own bed deserves to die? I just don't get it.
Well, it was in the comments. You saw it. I saw it. I even read it aloud. So it's not like I'm making it up. And like I said, my audience is predominantly MAGA. But I do see other folks in the audience. Let me be clear. All MAGA don't say shit like that. I talk to MAGA every day, all day. We have very civilized conversations. But there are people in the audience that identify as MAGA that do feel that way. And there's no other way to describe that other than just, you're dark skinned. I don't like you.
It's the big difference between a Republican and the mega base, and I know that for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't, like I said, I'm always willing to play devil's advocate. I let people speak. I don't block any comments, but sometimes a statement can be so far in one direction that there is no way to balance it out. There's no devil's advocate you can play. It's completely, for lack of a better term, moronic. There's nothing else you can do with that. But yeah, I mean, Breonna Taylor essentially was asleep. She woke up to the sounds of shit happening in her house and she got killed. How does she deserve that? How would anyone suggest that having an event like that happen is something you deserve to have happen?
I wonder if they feel the same way about the guy who was eating ice cream in his own apartment and the female officer thought she was in her
You're talking
apartment.
about in Dallas. Yeah, you're talking about in Dallas where the woman claimed she went into the wrong apartment. She thought it was her apartment. She went into his apartment and shot and killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I haven't heard anybody justify that one, but I did get a significant amount of people that suggested George Floyd died of COVID. In fact, I still have some people I debate with that truly believes George Floyd died of COVID. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
It gets me when they say we try to put him up on a pedestal as a hero. I understand that he was a criminal, but no one is the judge, jury, and executioner of any other human being. That's why they have laws.
Okay. What about him? The fact that he did get at least a bust or a statue in a few towns. I think New York got a George Floyd statue out there. You think he's worthy of a statue?
No, it's just a symbol. The symbol of how, America is so racist and unjust to a certain demographic of its population.
Okay. I think that he's certainly he's just one more in a long list of folks posthumously in the pursuit of justice. But yeah, I don't think Floyd should have gotten a statue. That's just my own take because there are people out there. I think he broke into one woman's apartment and robbed her at gunpoint or something like that. I mean, he hurt some people. He didn't deserve to die by any means the way he did. And Derek Chauvin got off light, if you ask me. But I don't know if he deserved to have an actual bust statue of himself. I wouldn't be okay with naming the law the George Floyd law because he proved he is a victim showing that knees on necks can kill people. But I'm not a fan of the statue.
So, what's your opinion on these Confederate statues? Guys who try to overthrow America.
Wait, you said my opinion on Confederate. What was the rest of that?
Statues. The guys with the Confederacy who try to overthrow the government.
I am certainly totally, I can't even describe how much I am against Confederate statues for the simple fact of what they tried to do. I'm not even talking about the racial element of it. Fact is, they literally tried to secede from the United States. They are responsible for a war that took the lives of more Americans than any other war in our history because everybody that died was Americans in that war. They tried to kill the president and did a host of other things. How any of them could be given a statue on the land of the victor makes no sense to me. That's literally like putting up a Saddam Hussein statue in the middle of Michigan. You lost the war and you get a statue on the soil of the victor. None of that makes sense. And I often hear my MAGA folks talk all the time about participation trophies. To me, a Confederate statue is the original participation trophy. You didn't win. How are you getting statues? I don't understand that.
Me neither.
All right.
Me
I
neither at
got to
all.
move it on. I got an abbreviated program, but D1, it's always a pleasure, man.
Okay, thank you. You have a great one. Keep the
You
words
too.
coming.
Absolutely. Let me get in the comments here real quick before we move it on. For their bravery, you're committing a crime. I mean, you're committing why not give Bin Laden a statue? What he did was pretty damn brave, knowing his life was going to be in danger. Saddam Hussein, he refused America knowing that the Americans were going to come and kill him. You want to give them a statue for their bravery? They were in commission of a crime. So if I go into a bank knowing that there's 10 armed officers in there and I decide to shoot it out with all of them, I'm brave as hell. I get a statue? You're committing a crime. How do you get a brave statue in the middle of an act of treason? You're committing treason. I don't know where to go with that. I just got to say that's actually kind of funny. Facts matter. Facts matter. Good evening, Facts.
Hey there.
What's up?
Oh,
I'm in the trenches, man. They running me over.
Hey, I put my waders on before I went through your comments.
Wow. You know, and because both of the names on the screen happen to be African Americans, that, in my humble opinion,
you think that's the reason?
They got treated like shit. It must be because there is zero sympathy for either one of these people.
No way. The one comment, they both got what they deserve. Wow. How fucking morally bankrupt and sad a person are you? Jesus.
Well,
said the atheist.
I like to let the people speak. I like to let the people speak.
I know you do. I'll tell you what. I mod about 24 lives. It is a good thing that I'm not your mod because I love to play some Whack-A-Mega.
No, I can't let you ban that, man. I can't let you. I'm a free speech. I'm a free speech advocate till I die. I can't let you ban that, man. Well, listen. Sometimes it's better off to let people say how they feel, so you know, as opposed to making them hide it. So I can't let you ban that, man.
No, let him darn his hood. But I mean, comments like Al Sharpton go to Moscow. Oh wait, no money to be made. Let's trade Al Sharpton. No, I don't know who's saying that. Nope. I've never lived in America.
Well, I will tell you this earlier in the broadcast. Somebody also said let's trade Trump. So, and Trump name was thrown out there,
but not for the same not for the same racial connotation. I don't think.
Okay, and by the way, folks, since I do have nothing but all of my beloved MAGA folks in here talking a lot of good shit, I need 10,000 likes. Make that shit happen. Do it in the name of a black woman. So
there you
10,000 likes. Go ahead.
If you really hate Breonna, go ahead and tap. Show us.
Yeah. Tap your screen for Breonna. Tap your screen for Brittany Griner. If you want her to stay in Russia, give me 20,000 likes. Shit, I probably have 200,000 asking these people. So, I don't know, man. 9 years. 9 years. That's nothing to laugh about.
No.
Should Biden,
so on Brittany.
Do?
Well, on Brittany, we know what he's going to do. He's going to make a deal.
Should there be an ending on it, though?
Oh, well, they're going to be put in a bad bargaining position, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean,
there is no equivalent of Brittany Griner in our jail. You couldn't even give them 10 equivalents because we don't lock people up for that kind of stuff.
No, there's not going to be. I mean, they're definitely going to take advantage of this, and that's what's going to happen. She put Biden in a bad spot, and she was a real dumbass because as a grasshopper extraordinaire, I wouldn't have taken a roach to Russia.
Right.
We know what time it is. She's 31 years old. She's not dumb.
I wouldn't have went to Russia to play, period.
Thank you. I wouldn't.
I mean, there are certain countries like Dennis Rodman, for instance. He got invited by Kim Jong-un to go to North Korea, you think anybody would have gave a fuck about if they had held on to Dennis Rodman? You think the comments are bad now? If they had
But that
held
would
on
have
to
been like
Dennis
our Trojan
Rodman, he
horse
would
if
have
he
been
would have
gone.
kept Dennis Rodman. I mean, that could have had some crazy social effects on his society.
Well, I'm just simply saying if Kim Jong-un had came up with an excuse to detain Dennis Rodman, nobody would have gave a damn about that guy. He would have just been
Not a
gone.
lot. Not a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Oh. So I don't know what Kim Jong. My guess is Dennis Rodman, though, and I was a big fan of Dennis Rodman because I was, being my height, I lived in Chicago and I was really good on the court at rebounding. So I'm a huge fan of Dennis Rodman. But my guess is the way Dennis likes to party, he got his hands on a lot of North Korean hotties because shit,
Oh
Kim Jong
yeah.
Un could point a girl out. Kim Jong Un could point to one of his citizens and say, "That's yours for the night," and that girl would be like, "Yes, sir, I am yours."
Or a block of one of his, a block of his citizens. Yeah.
Yeah. So my guess is Dennis Rodman had a really good time. You talk about PP tapes. They say Trump got PP tapes in Russia and shit like that. I bet you Dennis Rodman had a really good time over there.
I can't. We don't have enough time on your live to list all the things Dennis Rodman has probably explored in his lifetime.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll give you a quick personal story, even though it's kind of off the topic. But I had flown into Dallas one day, and I got on the shuttle bus. You get out of your car, you get on the shuttle bus to take you to the terminal. And the driver was like, "You know where you're sitting?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Right before you got on the bus, Dennis Rodman was sitting there with two white girls, and they didn't have any panties on or anything." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, you should check that seat, make sure it's dry." I'm like, this actually happened to me. This is probably 25 years ago or more, but I had flew into Dallas, and I'm like, "A shuttle bus?" He was like, "Yeah, Dennis Rodman was just in that seat." Because I was on the bus with the guy alone. He was like, he was just in that seat with two white girls, and they didn't even have any panties on. So I'm like, damn. So Dennis Rodman was known for doing some pretty wild shit. So,
Yeah.
Shout out to Dennis, but I ain't going to North Korea.
No, I'm not going to North Korea. I'm not going to Russia, and I'm definitely not going to Russia with any kind of THC paraphernalia. And I'm not going there as a black girl, a gay black girl. No, I'm not going there as we're supplying weapons and money to one of Russia's enemies at the moment. No, this is a bad idea. So
well,
I feel for her.
You mentioned her being a gay black girl. Now, there's no sympathy at all for her in my comment section. You think that may have anything to do with the fact that she's a gay black girl?
Well, only in as much as that she's black. Because if she was a gay white girl, they wouldn't care.
Oh, I didn't think of it that. Okay. All right. What about the unpatriotic shit she's apparently said about the country?
Yeah, they don't care about that either. That just gives them an excuse.
So you're saying that they would normally be okay with someone
racist.
else?
Yeah, I'll just say it plainly. They're racist. And they look at Trump like they're great.
Like I say,
I'll say it for you. I know you're very patient, but I'll say it for you. They're racist, and they look at Trump like he's their last great white Alamo.
Damn. Okay. All right. Well, look, I gotta move it on, man. I got a quick abbreviated.
Okay. One last thing, though.
Get out of here.
As far as Brionna, Merrick Garland, fucking brilliant. That woman did not deserve what she got.
Real quick, scale of 1 to 10. 10 is going to do it. What is the chances Merrick Garland is going to criminally go after Trump?
10.
Damn. I gotta go.
See ya.
Catch you on the next.
See ya.
All right. 10.
A fucking 10. I'm a correspondent, yours truly. You know my spiel. I would probably put it at about an 8. Now, I'm not saying that Trump will be convicted, but in regards to whether he's going to criminally go after Trump, yeah, I think I would be, if I was a betting man, and I am a betting man, I would probably say 3-1 odds in regards to him. If the chances of him not going after Trump criminally, about 3-1 odds. I do believe it's pretty strong that he's going to go after him. That gentleman said a 10. I don't know if I'd quite say it that high, but yeah, pretty high. Real quick before I go back to the box,
We have AK Boondocker 24 in the comments saying, so funny, Trump still in everyone's mouth. I get these comments every single broadcast. Trump's living rent free in your head, Trump derangement syndrome. What about the fact that Trump is holding a rally in Waukesha, Wisconsin tomorrow? Why would you not be talking about Trump if you're speaking politics? I don't get that. Other than you just want folks to shut up so Trump can fester and continue climbing in the ratings. I don't know. But it's not like Trump is on the sideline keeping his mouth shut and folks are just bullying and bringing his name up for no reason at all. Did you just see what happened yesterday in the primaries in all of these states? All of these MAGA candidates did exceptionally well. Trump is deeply involved in the midterms, deeply involved in Senate and congressional races all over the country, gubernatorial races. Why the hell would you be involved in politics and not talking about Trump? Can anyone explain how that makes sense? Anyone? Other than I like Trump and I don't want liberals saying shit about him because it hurts them. That's the only reason I can come up with, but you let me know in the comments. Going back to the box. Fast Pass. Fast Pass. The folks, he definitely
Hey, my man.
Talk to Fast Pass.
Hey, my man. I'm over my fast on racism. Now I'm fasting on abortion issues.
Oh,
so I'm not talking about
what's
those now. I've quit. That's it's just a waste of good brain space. I'm just tired of it. But yeah, they need to send that. Remember Richardson, that cabinet member, that the State Department climbed all over his ass because he brought somebody back from overseas.
Yeah.
They need to send him. They need to send him. He's a pro at this kind of stuff.
Let me say this. I made a video and I got hammered because my audience is primarily MAGA. But a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, I made a video suggesting that Trump by far would be the best person to bring Brittany Griner home. And the way I said it is Trump has maintained a favorable relationship with Vladimir Putin before he became president and throughout his presidency. And he has nothing to do. Trump has absolutely nothing to do with helping the Ukrainians out in that war. His relationship with Putin is favorable. And if you want to talk about vote for me, you ain't black, and how Trump helped HBCUs, it would really be in Trump's best interest with the African American community to do some shit like this. But when you listen to MAGA, it's exactly the opposite.
Wow, I'm not gonna. I never would label myself as MAGA. I don't own a hat, but I think that would be some political capital that he could earn that he would impossible to lose. But I don't think the State Department will allow that to happen. I mean, they got mad at a Democrat for going over and getting them Richardson, so they're not going to let Trump do that. I mean, they got mad at their own. He went to get one and ended up bringing two. I think what happened.
But I don't think Trump would even need to go to Moscow. My guess is Trump could probably pick up the phone and get in contact with Putin. But keep in mind, before Trump became president, he was on par to build the largest skyscraper in Russia. He has deep ties to that country and the leaders in that country. I think he could get that. He could have gotten that girl out with a phone call.
The Miss America contest or Miss USA. Also, I mean, he had ties with the Miss USA. But I don't talk about it. You asked the question about if with Trump being still in politics, still in people's brain, and I think we're giving him so much status and so much fuel. Yes, he did get a lot of his candidates nominated, but the Democrats they've outraised them, the Republicans in money. It's not even close. Kelly in Arizona has like $17 million war chest against like $1 million. I mean, the only one that's even, and he's not even close, is Herschel Walker, but he's not even close to what Warnock's got. So you guys, I mean, the Democrats have got so much money.
I'm no fan of Walker at all. Yeah, I'm no fan of Herschel Walker at all.
No, I'm not a fan of Warnock, but either his own wife called on him, But as far as both of those, I'm on your side on both of these things, man. Brittany Griner should never. I mean, they got to get her back here. She's American, even if whatever, even if she made all the buttons all shiny, so that they can push them now and say, leave her over there, leave her over there. Nah, she's an American. She's over there for basically 1 gram of THC, and
She's
if
a
she was
political prisoner. She is a political prisoner.
absolutely
Yeah.
so, and I think her value is as high as just about anybody's. She's an American. It's not matter what, so get her back and find a way. Now, and Breonna Taylor, these freaking trigger happy cops. I mean, they shot through a window and they didn't know what they were. You don't point a gun and you're not knowing what you're shooting at. They could have killed children. They could have killed anybody. But they're now. I mean, I'm in North Carolina. I'm the state where that whole entire police force walked off. Because they hired the city manager or whoever, the mayor.
I heard
Um,
about that. I
that's
heard about that.
it's not a huge city, but still they had about, I don't know, 16, 18 police officers, and they all left en masse. But now anybody can be just about a police officer. I mean, it's so easy to get in, and it's such a crucial job not to put just anybody in it. It's terrible. I mean, I know it's what they're doing. It happens way too often, and of course it happens, and it's advertised and publicized. Um, and it's shown, but we're not seeing them all. We're
Well,
not seeing them
let me
all.
ask you this question though, in regards to them going after those officers, like you pointed out, shooting through a wall, negligently and things like that. That's the federal government. Why didn't the state of Kentucky also find that shit was negligent?
Yeah, I heard they met in a garage after the fact, though. It wasn't like they made up the warrant. I don't think they made up the warrant and then went in there. I think they made it up after the fact. They got together after and tried to cover their
Well, from what
ass.
I heard
Is
on
what
the
I'd read.
news, yeah, from what I heard on the news is that they got the warrant by suggesting that that house was receiving packages, apparently drug packages, and that is flat out not even true. But they said the house was receiving packages, and that things were coming and going. And I guess when it was time to prove, well, show me the evidence that they're receiving packages. The federal government is saying that ain't even true. So they're saying that they lied in the information to get the warrant to begin with.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they made up. I thought they changed some stuff afterwards also. So I
Yeah.
didn't know about the beginning, but they did get the CTA going after to cover their own ass. But they need to find a way to get over this stuff with the drug, with the. I mean, they take the money out of it, take the people that are making money out of it, which are, of course, the drug dealers, the people pushing it. Find a way somehow to take the money out of it, and they can heal this problem, I think, a lot quicker than they can by
Well,
criminalizing
you can
everybody.
do the same. You can do the same thing you're doing with marijuana. Just legalize the shit. If you legalize it, it would actually reduce the black market for it. The
Yeah,
problem is
I thought we
yeah,
learned prohibition.
yeah,
Created Al Capone, made him a multi-hundred millionaire. But yeah, I agree with that. And they pick and choose which drug it is. What is
yeah.
it?
No kidding.
The fentanyl, the opioid is not it's a white man's deal. And I'll say it. It's definitely not been treated the same as, of course, cocaine or crack, but
Yeah,
it does more damage. There's a hell
yeah,
of a lot less people OD'd off of cocaine or crack than OD off of fentanyl.
yeah,
Um, so that's deadly, and
yeah.
they need to find a way to get done with that. But hey, here's I'm
You broke up. Are you there? Okay, I don't know what happened there, but I got to move it on anyway. I got an abbreviated program. I got to get up out of here real quick, but I'm gonna go back to the box here. Blue chocolate 69, definitely a new car.
chocolate. I'm trying to see how does that coincide? I've never heard of that. I tried to get 20,000 likes out of this audience. You guys are being stingy tonight. Blue chocolate. Good evening.
What's going on, bro? Thanks for
Not
having me.
much
Can
at
you
all.
hear
You been
me?
listening in loud and clear.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty new to your station, so I was
I'm
scrolling through
glad to have
today on
you
my
here
For
regardless.
You page, and I was listening, and I seen you throw the mega hat up, and I had to catch myself out there because I was gonna say, wait, what is going on? And then I started listening. You know what I mean? I started listening.
Right.
So
Well,
I was
let
going
me,
to
I'll go ahead and give you my spiel. I am liberal. I lean left. I prefer talking to MAGA. I like the conversations we have. We keep it civil here. Some of my comments, yeah, there's some intolerance in the comment section. I don't ban anything, by the way. I let folks speak. If you get banned here, it's generally TikTok. But I lean left. I just enjoy talking to MAGA. I think that they get an unfair, they get the raw end of the deal in regards to media and things like that. Since I've been talking to MAGA, talking about Trump on some shit, I've even gotten canceled a few times. So, in my opinion, the media does not like them, but I do. So fuck them. So that's why we do it that way. But I do lean left. I'm a liberal. Go.
All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not. I'm more along that middle line. I'm an independent. I kind of
Okay.
lean. I'm more like your Frederick Douglass type Republican.
Okay.
Okay, but real. I was listening to what you guys are talking about Brittany Griner. I was checking out the comments. Brittany Griner, Breonna Taylor, and what was being said. Now, here's my stance on Brittany Griner. Number one, you already know going into this situation when you left and got on the plane from here, what the rules were going into Russia. We know as a
Right.
community what we've heard and what the laws in some of these countries are, where they're so strict against drug use. Period.
Right.
Okay. So that being said, as a sports star here in the U.S. that does go and play ball abroad, you need to be aware of what you're doing. You need to double check, check, and check again. Now, we sit here, I live in Arizona, bro, so I'm gonna tell you, we hear it all the time about how we need to take and lock up these criminal elements coming across the border. The cartel is funneling these drugs in, this and that, whoop de whoop. And what they say they want to do, they want to lock them up and not send them back.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the same thing that we're trying to do and the same laws we're trying to implement, how can we be upset with Russia for implementing their laws?
Well, I'll tell you why. That's a good question. The reason why we're upset is because even though she broke the law in Russia and she pled guilty, they're giving her the max. So, first time offender, she didn't do anything that she should get the max. Just like here in America, if you commit a crime and it's your first offense and they give you the max, a lot of Americans will be upset. Why are you giving this person a max on their first offense? And a max like that? Even though she broke your law has guidelines. Usually, judges
So
in any country are going to explain why they decided to give you the maximum sentence. Why did she get
I
the
get
max?
that.
It's because she's a political prisoner. That's why people were pissed off.
And I do get that this happened right at the right time, at the prime time for her to become a political prisoner. I get that. But think about it like this. I had a friend I'm from Detroit, born and raised. I had a friend went to Kokomo for an ounce of cocaine. He got 63 years. So we
Say that
already, yeah,
again? Damn.
for an ounce of cocaine, Kokomo judge gave him 63 years.
Damn.
Okay? So we already know that the time that
But
we issue out for our people here in this country.
wait. Did he have a load of priors, or was that his first time with the law?
That was his first time with the law there in Kokomo.
Wow. God.
Okay,
Damn.
so now understand, we know that the laws that the time that they issue black people here in this country alone is way more disproportionate than the time that they issue to the white guys or the white folks. We know this. So if we got the same racist people here that came from over there, they're gonna give her the same maximum over there. Because Trump and his allies been doing the same thing for years. This is why they want to make America great again.
What is that phrase? Okay, let me ask you that real quick because you mentioned that they want to make America great. I'm just going to ask you as a black man because we talked about this the other day. What does the phrase "make America great" to you mean?
To me, it sounds like they want to go back to a time where white people dominated and ruled completely.
Okay.
Where anything that we invented, they stake claim on it. Anything that we came up with, they stake claim on it. We're supposed to be under their rule.
All right. Okay. I just wonder
So
because that is the obvious. That's obviously that's the phrase. Well, this hat here, I got the failed "Keep America Great." I got a MAGA hat in the car, believe it or not. But I just wanted to find out what that phrase meant to you because that's a lot of us African Americans. We do view anything in the past as oppressive. I mean, I've said it before.
it
There
is.
is no, despite all the cries about from African Americans that we're currently dealing with systemic racism, I just will say there is not a single day or era in the past that would be better for at least us to go back to than we are right now. I strongly believe this is the best in America for minorities that it has ever been. So there's no
I
era
agree.
that I would
And
suggest going back to as better than now.
exactly. And I'll be honest with you. To be totally my whole opinion on our people, you know, we sit back and we talk about how we can't get this, we can't get that, right? I sit here in Phoenix, Arizona, man, and I watch 8 families live in one house. Mom
Damn.
and dad watch the kids. The rest of them go work. Once that one family get on their feet, they go buy a house and they start moving half that family out of that house into the next house. And they do that. This is what the Mexican folks that come here legally do. They come out here, they get their shit together, they work together as a family. We can't do that because we're so afraid that somebody else is gonna take more than what we got. And I think that
We
we
live a
need to,
different
as a
way.
people, stand up and come together with black businesses and this and that. Don't let Black Wall Street getting burnt down keep your mind trapped that they ain't gonna never
Well, let
let
me
us do it
let me
again.
let me run this by you. This is coming from, I guess, I can't even, what is this? It's Five Voice, some daddy. Okay, because we're talking about Trump, but what about this? He's suggesting, I think the left, Democrats, I think the left discredits the black community and act like they need the bar lowered from them. Do you think, we talked about MAGA and Trump, but do you think that the Democrats pretty much leave us hanging, leave us high to dry? Do you think the Democratic Party is any better for African Americans?
I don't. I honestly and truthfully believe that neither one of the parties are for us. I don't think that
Okay.
either one of the parties are for anybody in the country besides themselves. I think it's
Well,
all just a play.
Trump claimed to be America first. Do you not buy that?
Okay, America first. Which Americans you talking about? The one percenters? You say America first, but you ain't did nothing to help us get first. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I hear
You
you.
gonna try to trade the deal the debt we got with China and put it over here in Russia. So now
Wow.
Russia and China gonna own us.
Okay. All right.
So
Fair.
they
Look, I
not here
got to
for you.
abbreviate
They
the
not
show.
here for me.
Okay, I
They
got to
here
wrap
for
it up. Unfortunately, I'll give you the last word, but I'm doing an abbreviated show because I got to run up out of here soon. But last word is
gotcha.
all yours, man.
Hey man, all I want to say is number one, Brittany Griner, she should have known the laws. I wish she can get home. I hope they bring her home, but she should have known the laws going in. As far as Breonna
Yeah.
Taylor, the no knock warrant that they got for somebody else, an ex boyfriend. And I'm sorry for those people that say, "Oh, the boyfriend shot at the cops first." Well, goddamn it, you break kick in my door, I'm gonna shoot at your ass too if I don't know what's going on, especially if I'm asleep.
Yeah.
I got a
That's
right
a
to
good
do that.
point. He's not the only one. There was a guy in his apartment in Minnesota where they did a no knock warrant. He was sleeping on the couch with a gun in his hand, but he was sleeping. And they came in his house, and he came from under the covers with a gun. And they shot and killed him too. So everybody is for defending your homestead until it's the cops breaking in, and then all of a sudden the mindset changes. But I think they need
Exactly.
to really get rid of no-knock warrants unless under the worst of circumstances. They should really make it a lot harder to get a no-knock warrant.
They really should,
Yeah,
especially when they know it's not the same person living in that residence. They didn't
yeah,
verify that boyfriend that they were looking for because it was an ex-boyfriend of hers that they were looking for,
yeah.
who no longer
All right.
resided at that residence.
Fair enough. All right, man. Talk to you again in the future. Blue Chocolate. That's a hell of a name you got there, by the way. You'll have
Blue
to
is good,
explain that
bro.
to me sometime. Catch you later, man.
All right.
All right, catch you later. Good talk. Looking in the comments, I agree. What did it say? I agree. No knock warrants. Damn, I hate when it scrolls up like that. Why don't criminals stop breaking the law? Says Scott 6189. If criminals stopped breaking the law in a capitalist country, they would change the law so you're still breaking them. Make no mistake about it. A lot of our laws are designed to raise revenue. They're not all designed to keep us safe. A lot of folks are going to jail for what they call victimless crimes. We can talk about Brittany Griner being in Russia, but that's a perfect example. The shit they locking her up for is a victimless crime. And we do that over here all the time. There's a lot of folks serving time that have a fucked up prison record or criminal record or whatever you want to call it for victimless crime. So the idea that you folks should just stop breaking the law, it's just like, I'll give you an example. We're starting to have driverless cars. A lot of departments make money on speeding tickets, moving violations, all of that shit. When cars start driving perfectly, you don't think they're going to come up with another way to get that money that they're missing? So that's what I'm saying is that if folks follow the law and nobody breaks the law, they just create something else to get the money. The police want their job security just like you do. They want to remain in their form of employment. So they'll find other ways to make it happen. Where's my Second Amendment crowd? If you're banning guns, they'll find another way. You don't think that shit applies elsewhere? You think that only applies to criminals when it comes to guns? Really? Okay, look, folks, I do unfortunately got to wrap it up. You guys have been on point, 21,000 likes, all that bullshit. In fact, before I run out, I'm going to go to Edward. I'm going to go to Edward in the box one more. Brittany Griner, folks suggesting that she got what she deserves to be left over there, and I can't believe folks in the audience actually said that Breonna Taylor deserved to be shot and killed. Goddamn. Edward, talk to me.
Hey, I just wanted to say, so I lived in Louisville when all that was going on. I was born and raised in Kentucky.
Oh,
So things that was left out of the national media was the cop that shot from outside the apartment, aimlessly in through her apartment into other apartments. He was arrested. He was charged. He was convicted of wanton endangerment.
what did he get?
I think he got 5 years, maybe.
Okay.
So he was charged.
What about the notion that they used false evidence to get the warrant in the first place? Is there any validity to that?
Yeah, I mean, there was so many. There was a lot of holes in there, but it was just like,
There's a lot of holes in her.
no, not in her. Well, there was, but
Yeah.
there was different things in the warrant that was very suspect. And but what they were saying too was that they had conversations between her and the guy that she was allegedly associated with
Okay.
through recordings in jail.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Let me just say this real quick. Even if everything the police said was true, I don't hear enough in there for that to be a no-knock warrant. I just don't. I mean, they could have surrounded her house and got on the damn megaphone. It's the handing out of no-knock warrants so willy-nilly that I think is the problem. If they had to perform an announcement warrant where they yelling police and all of that shit, this wouldn't have happened. I really don't think it would have happened. So even if all of the stuff they said was true, which it doesn't appear to be, I still don't hear enough for a no-knock warrant.
Well, and I would agree with you about the no-knock warrants. I mean, especially when you're serving them for people at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Right.
So
Everybody got guns nowadays. Everybody got a fucking gun. So
yes,
when you do a no knock warrant, not only do I think no knock warrants are bad for the citizens' rights, it's also incredibly dangerous for the cops. Everybody got guns. If you don't
well, yeah,
have to do a no knock warrant, don't do it.
because that's where the firefight started. They busted in. He shot a cop.
Yeah.
Cop shot back.
Yeah. Incredibly. Yeah. Cops shoot back a lot.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So,
So,
but
well, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say that's just what I was wanting to say. I heard you all talking about it, and
Okay, quickly before you, Brittany Griner, 9 years. Do you think the president should do anything, or do you fall in line with my audience suggesting that because she was an unpatriotic American, they should just leave her ass there to rot?
I'm of the notion that if she broke the law, she knows the law, then you pay the price. But I would also agree with you that she is somewhat of a political prisoner also.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
at the same time, there's another guy that's been over there that's been accused of spying. He's not a famous guy, which again, this happens everywhere. He's not a famous guy. They seem fit, he's a military guy. They see fit to just let him sit in Russian jail and rot.
But I wonder, with Trump's fairly favorable reputation with Putin, if Trump didn't try to bring that guy home, and that's a white guy, I believe, he's not black. Um, if Trump thought that guy was also a political prisoner or being held on some bullshit, it would have been political capital for Trump to bring that guy home like he did the guy in North Korea. My guess is the United States government probably thinks that guy is guilty as charged. He might have been working for our government and spying for real, because we have not made a big stink over that guy being charged with espionage. It wouldn't
Right.
surprise me if he's actually guilty.
Right. Now, I do feel that because again, you seem to have so many celebrities that make a lot of money on this country, but will be quick to criticize this country and talk about how much they hate it. Now,
Yeah.
as many people say, if she had been busted for that in the United States, the worst she would have got was probably a ticket. In this
Right.
day and time, worst she would have got was a ticket, pay your fine, don't do it again.
Right.
So this country don't look so bad now.
But let me make it clear. You said she made a lot of money in this country and said bad shit about the country. That actually defines Trump. Trump spent his entire life making a ton of money in this country, and
Oh,
every time you hear him speaking of America when he's not in office, it's negative shit. We're the laughing stock. Our military's depreciated.
well, but
Nobody.
but
He's
but
doing it.
but here's the thing: is right now, and if you look at like Sky News Australia, Great Britain News, and stuff like that, our country and our president is a laughing stock. They're all making
But
fun
you
of the
could say
man.
that, yeah, but you could also say the exact same thing in regards to Brittany Griner. A lot of countries think we're racist as hell. A lot of the
Oh,
stuff she's saying, that people believe it too.
I agree, but a lot of these countries that want to turn on America and say America's racist, they're pretty racist themselves.
Well, I'm just simply saying, if you want to suggest that in Trump's case, he can say bad things about America because it's true, I'm going to suggest that Brittany Griner, the stuff she's saying about America, a lot of foreigners believe that's true as well. When I
Right.
lived in Australia, I would encounter black expats, African Americans that moved to Australia that used to live here, and they overwhelmingly was reciting racism as one of the reasons they left the damn country. So there's a lot of people who believe what Brittany Griner is saying true. It's true also.
Right. And every country's got their problems. I'm not saying that this is the best country. I'm
Right.
not saying that this country don't have its problems. I wish we could just figure out how to fix these problems.
Yeah. Well, we got to first want to do that. A lot of the problems we got in this country, there are people who want it that way because they personally benefit from it. I mean, there's a
Well, and
reason why we've been the way we are for so long. It's because there's a lot. I mean, like the disparity between rich and poor. There's a lot of
right,
rich people who want it to stay that way because they benefit from it.
right. But you know,
So,
and again, I often have this conversation with my wife and my kids. I think that your majority, 80% of people in this country have the same ideas, wants the same thing. You know,
right.
you want to live your life, live your life. Just
Yeah.
don't, just don't screw with my life. You know.
I agree with that, and I will say this also because when you hear a lot of us African Americans bringing up slavery and stuff, only 1% of Caucasians own slaves. The point I'm trying to make is that when majority of the people stand by and watch shit, you don't need a lot of bad guys. Like you said, 80% of us are not bad guys, but most of that 80% will stand by and let the bad guys do whatever they want. That's what happened during the era of slavery. Most people were not owning slaves, but they didn't do anything. Hence why it went on for so long. I'll give you the last word. I got to absolutely get out of here, but go ahead.
All right. Well, no, I really don't have a last word. I do enjoy. I always watch your show. Uh,
Okay. It's an
you're
honor. I'm glad to have you here, man.
you're one of the few that I'll check out on a regular basis, just because I like to hear a good conversation, even if people disagree. Then you suck. You're a bad person.
Yeah.
You know.
But we'll try
So
to always avoid doing that here. So you know how we do it. You're welcome back anytime, man. So appreciate you coming through.
all right. Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Catch you later. Have a good night. All right, folks, real quick. I do have to wrap. Unfortunately, I got to make it run some errands, so this was an abbreviated live. You guys have absolutely been a pleasure. It's been an honor talking to you guys as always. It's been some interesting comments coming in, though. The notion that even Breonna Taylor deserved to wake up out of her sleep and be shot multiple times. I actually had a few people in the audience suggest that she deserved to have that happen. You see both names behind me, two African-American women, one in prison in Russia, one is deceased. And based on my analysis of the conversation we've had for the last hour or so, is that most of my folks, predominantly my MAGA crowd, believes that both of those women got what they deserve. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Until then, you guys stay safe, stay out of trouble, and love your black women.